Are they still together?
Yeah. Yep, they
That's-
are.
I'm so happy for both of them. Good thing. I hope maybe do some talking. Find out what the latest is.
So you got 4 golfers, right?
Well, I've got two. I mean, me and Miss and Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think Darren put us with Curtis and Jeff.
Jeff Chestnut.
Yeah. So
That's a good group.
yeah, it'd be fun. Of course, Charlie and I played today, and we did not do well.
Got it out of your system. You'll be ready for Friday.
I'm just 3 putting everything, Bob. I can't
Ah.
stop. You know the feeling. We just
Yeah.
and everything's lipping out. You know, you just you know.
Well, I went to the course to practice on the practice green,
Yeah.
and I swear everybody on the practice green had never ever been there before because everybody was shooting at a different hole and only one hole at a time, and they were shooting every different direction.
Oh,
I
wow.
tried to figure out what they were doing and decided that nobody had a clue.
Yeah.
And all I could do is get the lines, and I was pretty
Mm.
good with the lines. And I thought, well, if I can get the lines good enough, then I can probably drop some putts.
Yep, it's all about aiming. Yeah. And distance. I couldn't figure out this speed. Say I can either short or long all day.
But just get the hole in the way, and that'll take care of it.
Really? No one's ever told me that because I'm real good at missing them.
There's room for 2 golf balls to go in the hole at
I'll never
the
forget
same
that.
time. Try it.
Yeah.
That's a big hole.
Think big. There you go.
Sounds like
It
you
just
were at a
shrinks.
putt-putt course.
Yeah. How you doing, Trip?
I'm doing good.
That's
This
good.
evening, apparently I'm paying. I can't get the screen to do what it's supposed to do, so I'm
You're
paying.
okay.
She's not gonna be here. So
She's not sick or anything, is she? She okay?
oh, she's fine. She has to meet her sister for something. I don't know what it is. She's out in Bridgeland.
Yeah, life happens.
Don't miss her.
Yeah, that's it.
That's where we should live.
Bridgeland, yeah, I wonder why. How would that? Everybody think
Well, her sister lives in her sister and my brother-in-law lives in Bridgeland.
it's not far from y'all's house, at least.
They used to be real close to us right over here in Cypress, but
Mhm.
they wanted to escape. It's funny. I'm laughing at it now. I was telling Pam this. They wanted to escape all the city and move out to Bridgeland. Well, guess what? The city's moving to Bridgeland.
That's what
You
happens.
should get a trailer and not a house. You know.
The Texans are moving out there. Everybody's moving out there. For now, it's beautiful though.
Yeah. Well, wait a few more minutes in case somebody gets a mood to come. I always like this little thing. I guess gets me in the mood.
Steve, you're muted. On the screen, not your. On the screen, Steve.
Is Catherine still in Washington, David?
No, she's right here.
Oh, okay.
Talk to Karen. Karen call.
I always liked it. And this in Bible study this morning, Carol was trying to explain to everyone what a good program this is. And she did a good job of explaining it. We just didn't get anybody that would come.
People are
I
doing
came.
what
I brought my
Yep.
wife.
There you go. We can check Bob and Marissa off.
They're here.
Yeah,
Yep.
they get attendance points if we were handing out points. That's perfect attendance. And just some, I just continue to do things that really speak to me. So I always get fed by this. I never feel like I'm doing something out of obligation. I feel like I'm doing something that touches me. And then an offering to what's best for them.
We enjoy what you've created, David. It's a good thing.
It's different.
Yes.
Very good thing.
It's totally different. And if I could, none of this happens without the Holy Spirit. I promise you that.
Yep. And see,
Uh,
tomorrow at 10 a.m. I've got to double check that. But we're going to be doing a program. Pastor Logan is going to be doing a Monday, Thursday program
Yes.
for the children.
This is a great story. I need to get a Zoom thing.
When
going
is that,
for
Steve?
Pastor Logan is doing a Zoom Monday, Thursday service for the children there.
He's going to do.
Oh.
I was talking to him. I said, it'd be great for those confirmands to do some foot washing to begin to understand what service means. He agreed, and so he is going over to confirmand's place, and he's going to do a foot washing ceremony with him. And they're all excited.
that'd be
That's
good.
neat.
Logan's coming,
Oh.
and he also said you recorded the song they sang.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ is risen today.
Yep.
We can get that somehow from you. We can. maybe get
It's
that.
on our YouTube channel.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And Saturday, man, it was hearing them sing, and it was amazing. And I teared up. It was such an awesome thing. And it takes a lot to get tears running out these eyes. And it just,
Yeah,
It
it
wa-
was great. I was out working in the yard and I came in to eat lunch and I saw the message from Steve that they were on and I got on there and it was great.
and I'm going to recommit myself to being there on Saturday mornings as much as I can.
That's all we can do.
I mean, I think them seeing me, Beth Ann, Laura, Mom, there Saturday, it was very inspirational for us, but it was also very inspirational for them. And it was just amazing.
Yeah, and Sunday, the little boy that read as prayer leader, Success, I think is his name. He was so good.
Hello,
His English
Pastor
was
Barry.
really good.
He's reading.
Yeah. We were waiting for you to start, so I'm glad you're here. We just kept saying, "Oh, she's coming, she's coming, she's coming." I know she'll be here.
Well, I am at work, so
I thought that was what it was going to be. I was going, how's she going to make
yeah, and I can't figure out how to do picture on here.
it? But yeah, I want to talk to you about that Monty Thursday. I'd like to see.
There we go. Okay.
All right,
And
let's get started on the service. Here we go. Always want to thank Pastor Umaran for this, trip.
and our players this evening.
Yeah, let's get it all organized. Laura's here, I'm here, Shirley's here, Trip's here, Pat. Oh, Tripp's gonna do Pam's part. I'm not sure Catherine will be there, but she doesn't.
I'm going to be James the Lesser, James the Greater, and Thomas.
There you go. You're solid. And we got anybody else to Bob? You want to pick up? You want to sight read something, Bob?
Yeah, I can do that.
Why don't you pick up Andrew? Because Catherine has got a thought of things.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's see, Shirley, do you want a part? I'm sure we can plug you in. So.
She's
Yeah,
got
here's a
Matthew.
part.
I'm
Oh,
Matthew.
you're Matthew. That's fine. Okay,
Thank
so
you,
let's
thank you.
remember that Bob is Andrew. All right, that's the only change we've made, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Judas. And,
I think I got it.
Bob is Andrew.
Judas.
I'll get in a good mood here. I'm gonna turn off some of the lights just to kind of create an effect in my house here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excuse me. I went to, so I'm
You're
making
Judas. You're Judas and Simon the Zealot.
sure. All right, here we go.
Leonardo da Vinci's famous painter during the Renaissance era was born in Vinci, Italy in 1452. While he has a collection of beautiful works, perhaps one of his most famous paintings is The Last Supper. In 1494, when Leonardo was 42 years old, he was hired by the Duke of Milan to decorate the dining room of the Convent Church, which was the favorite shrine of the Duke's young bride. For the dining room's theme, Da Vinci chose, appropriately, The Last Supper. However, instead of doing a faithful reproduction of the original scene as it had taken place in 1st century Palestine, Da Vinci chose to reproduce the scene as if it had taken place in 15th century Italy, using what he considered the most dramatic moment of the Last Supper, when Jesus reveals to the apostles that one of them will betray him. In this living dramatization, reset to modern times and language, we get a glimpse of what the apostles might have been thinking, feeling, and saying after Jesus speaks those ominous words. One of you will betray me. We now present to you Zooming to the Last Supper, originally written by Ernest K. Ullman and adopted for this setting. Adapted. A reading from Mark. On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb is sacrificed, Jesus' disciples asked him, "Where do you want us to go to prepare the Passover meal for you?" So Jesus sent two of them into Jerusalem with these instructions. As you go into the city, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him. At the house he enters, say to the owner, "The teacher asks, where is the guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciples?" He will take you upstairs to a large room that is already set up. That is where you should prepare our meal. So the two disciples went into the city and found everything just as Jesus had said, and they prepared the Passover meal there. In the evening, Jesus arrived with the 12 disciples. As they were at the table eating, Jesus said, "I tell you the truth. One of you eating with me here will betray me." Greatly distressed, each one asked in turn, "Am I the one?" That's you, Pastor Tart.
Thank you. My name is Nathaniel, but my friends call me Bartholomew. Like many of the other disciples, I am a fisherman. I met Jesus when I was working as a disciple of John the Baptist. My friend Philip came to me and said, "We have found the man whom Moses and the prophets called Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." I laughed and said, "Can anything good really come out of Nazareth?" I wasn't trying to be mean. Nazareth is just such a small town and so insignificant that I couldn't believe God would reveal his chosen one to me. But Philip just said, "Come and see." And he took me to meet Jesus. And as soon as Jesus saw me, he said, "Now this looks like a guy who couldn't tell a lie to save his soul." I was a little creeped out. "How do you know me?" I asked. Jesus said, "Even before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. You see, when I was a baby, my mom would leave me under the shade of the fig trees when she had to go to work in the fields. And Jesus knew little things about me that even I didn't remember, possibly even since the day I was born. I just knew that this guy was the real deal. I told him, 'You are the Son of God, the King of Israel.' I've served him as a disciple and a chosen apostle ever since. Yet now, in the middle of this special supper, he tells us that one of us will betray him. How can this be? How could one of us, one of his closest friends, possibly be a traitor?" In the back of my mind, I kept asking, could it be me? Am I the one?
Go to dark Gethsemane, ye that feel the tempter's power, your Redeemer's conflict see. Watch with him one bitter hour. Turn not from his griefs away. Learn of Jesus Christ to pray.
My name is Matthew, but some people call me Levi, or that darn tax collector. Like Zacchaeus, you may even know me by a total different name, because I actually changed both my name and my life when I became friends with Jesus. It was a regular, boring day at the tax booth, collecting taxes, when Jesus burst in and exclaims, "Follow me," and runs back out. It was just so different from my everyday routine that I just had to follow him. In fact, he was so interesting that I invited him and his disciples to a dinner party I was having that night with some of my coworkers and business partners. I was so embarrassed and horrified when the Pharisees showed up and started criticizing Jesus for eating with sinners like me. But Jesus stood up for me and said to them, "Those who are healthy don't need a doctor, but those who are sick do." I was impressed, and I knew that this was the kind of life I wanted to lead, the kind of person I wanted to be. I did some more research, studying scriptures closely, listening to Jesus' sermons, and eventually repenting and following him. I know now that he is the Messiah, God's anointed, the one the prophets talked about, and I plan on writing a paper to prove it, using our sacred writings and by taking notes using his Sermon on the Mount in Galilee 3 years ago. I was so excited, ready to bring a new gospel and good news for everyone to the world, when Jesus throws this bad news at us that one of us will betray him. I feel like my past is coming back to haunt me. Will the others suspect me because I used to be a tax collector? Even worse, do I even trust myself? Am I the one?
Follow to the judgment hall, view the Lord of life arraigned. Oh, the wormwood and the gall, oh, the pangs his soul soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the cross.
My name is James. It's a pretty common name, though, so sometimes people call me James the Little or James the Lesser because I'm a little smaller than the other James. My dad's name was Alphaeus, so I'm also known as James, the son of Alphaeus. I'll never forget the first time I saw Jesus. I was walking down the road where John was baptizing when I noticed a huge crowd gathered. I was curious to see what was going on, so I went down for a closer look. This man, Jesus, was asking John to baptize him, and John was refusing, but Jesus insisted. When John finally gave in and finished baptizing him, I swear I saw the sky open up and the Holy Spirit swooping down on Jesus in the form of a dove. The whole crowd heard a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased." At the end of Jesus' first year of public ministry, he chose me as one of his 12 apostles, and we've been best friends ever since, walking and talking together, praying together, and me working to learn everything I can about him and his heavenly Father. But now Jesus is saying that one of us will betray him. No way. It would have to be a stranger, somebody crazy and outside our group. But Jesus is so sure. And I have to ask myself, am I the one?
The cross. Calvary's mournful mountain climb, there adoring at his feet, mark that miracle of time, God's own sacrifice complete. It is finished, hear the cry, learn of Jesus Christ to die.
My name is James. I am one of Jesus' chosen 12 apostles. My brother John and I used to be ordinary fishermen before Jesus found us mending our nets with our dad Zebedee by the Sea of Galilee almost 3 years ago. I always knew we were meant for more than that. And sure enough, Jesus asked us to be one of his disciples and even one of his handpicked 12 apostles. Our mother Salome was so proud of us, but she wanted to make sure we'd get the recognition we deserved. On our way to Jerusalem last week, we asked Jesus, "Teacher, grant us to sit at your right side and your right and left hand when you come into your kingdom." He said, "You don't know what you're talking about. Are you really able to drink the cup that I am to drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" I was a little unsure of what exactly he meant, but he answered, "Of course," but we answered, "Of course." He looked at us sadly and said that even though we would be following in his footsteps, he didn't have the power to grant us those honors in heaven. The others were a little mad when they heard what we had asked, but Jesus soothed them by saying those who wanted to be first must be the servant of all, and demonstrated his words by washing our feet just before supper. Now, I'm really confused because despite all of his promises and speeches, he's saying one of us will betray him. Who can it be? Why should one of us do such a thing? I have to wonder, is it I? Am I the one?
Early hasten to the tomb where they laid his breathless clay. All is solitude and gloom. Who hath taken him away? Christ is risen, he meets our eyes. Savior, teach us so to rise.
Hi, I'm Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. Everyone calls me Andrew the Bringer because that's what I do best, bring others to Jesus. I'm not really talented, just an ordinary Joe, just like one of you. But I've done my best to serve Jesus with what little gifts I do have. I'm the one who brought my brother Peter to Jesus, and it's been so amazing to watch him be transformed by Jesus. You've heard about the crowd of 5,000, right? I'm the guy who actually found the boy with the original 5 loaves and 2 fish. Just the other day, some Greeks came looking for Jesus, and I was called in to help them see the light. It's not much, but I guess Jesus saw something good in me that no one else sees because he picked me to be one of the 12 apostles, and we've been very close ever since. I'm not exactly in the inner circle like Peter, but I've been a good friend and companion to my Lord, and truly, what greater gift could life give a fisherman like me? And now, one of us is to betray him. It's unbelievable. Who could it be? How could anyone do such a thing and still live with themselves? I could never do anything like that, could I? Is it even possible? Am I the one?
Love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that caused the Lord of bliss to bear the dreadful curse for my soul, for my soul. To bear the dreadful curse for my soul.
My name is Judas of Kerioth, or Judas Iscariot. Did you know I'm the only Judean in this group? Everyone else came from Galilee, but my home is in the village of Kerioth in Judea. Whatever, despite my humble beginnings, the others must have trusted me because they elected me their treasurer. And Jesus definitely believed in me because he chose me as one of the 12 apostles. You know, a lot of people say that I've taken money for my own use and that Jesus aimed his talks about love of money and greed directly at me. But of course, I complain. When Mary washed Jesus' feet with all that expensive perfume, it was a total waste of money. And if I made a deal with the chief priest and happened to have 30 pieces of silver on me, so what? That's my business. I mean, I believe in Jesus, but he has to do something to prove he's God's Messiah. And he refuses to make a move. Now I've made one. He's hinting that he knows what I've done. Even mentioning it when he washed my feet a few moments ago. Geez, give me a break. I have my reasons. I'm not as bad as you think I am, nor are you as good as you think you are. What makes you better than me? And really, what would you do if you were in my shoes and wanted Jesus to get the ball rolling? Obviously, he needed a little push. But now I'm wondering, how should I play this? Do I pretend I didn't hear what he said? Or play along with the others, self-righteously asking, is it I? Am I the one?
When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath God's righteous frown, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul, for my soul. Christ laid aside his crown for my soul.
Hello, my name is Philip. I'm from Bethsaida in Galilee. I remember when I first met Jesus. My friends and I were listening to John the Baptist speak when Jesus came and called us to become his disciples, and we immediately turned and followed him. No questions asked. It was so cool to be there with Jesus when he fed the 5,000 with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. I was actually really worried and asking Jesus and the others about where we were going to get enough food for everyone when Andrew brought a young boy with his lunch to Jesus. And really good with that stuff. The other day, these Greeks came to me asking for an interview with Jesus, and I wasn't sure what to do, so I talked to Andrew first before we introduced them to Jesus. At first, I had a hard time understanding what Jesus was saying. He told things like God was our Heavenly Father, and it just seemed way beyond my understanding. Now, having listened to him for a long time, I think I understand what he's saying. It almost seems like anyone who has met Jesus has pretty much met the Father, because in Jesus I see everything I would want and expect to see in the Father. There's absolutely nothing about Jesus that I wouldn't want to find in the Father. But if that's true, how can there be a traitor in our group like Jesus says? Doesn't he know that by betraying Jesus, he's also betraying God? Could anyone be that blind? But am I the one?
God, to the Lamb, I will sing, I will sing. God and to the Lamb I will sing. To God and to the Lamb, who is the great I am. While millions join the theme, I will sing, I will sing. While millions join the theme, I will sing.
I'm Thaddeus, one of the disciples whom Jesus called to be an apostle. It's such an honor. Jesus chose just 12 of us to become the foundation for a new kingdom, just like there were 12 tribes who were the foundation of the old Jewish kingdom. I don't feel like I deserve to be among his apostles, but he chose me, and I'm just honored. It was such an amazing day. After a night praying, Jesus called each of the chosen apostles to him and gave us all authority over demons and the power to heal all kinds of diseases and illnesses. He told us to go out and preach that the kingdom of heaven is here. He warned us that we'd have to be as wise as snakes and innocent as doves, since he was sending us out like sheep being thrown into a pack of wolves. He said, and I quote, "It is enough that the disciples be like his teacher and the servant like his master." It took me back to when I was in Jerusalem and Jesus invited everyone to follow him, saying, "Come to me, all of you who are tired and stressed, and I will give you rest, for the load I carry is easy and light." Tonight was different though. Tonight, Jesus, who came to help make our lives easier, is being forced to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders, knowing that one of us will betray him. Which one of us could it be? Maybe the person we least suspect. Or will all of us betray him before the night is over? Philip and Peter, Judas and John, and even me. Is it I? Am I the one?
Death, I'm free. I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing his love for me. And through eternity, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And through eternity, I'll sing on.
I am Thomas the twin. Some people call me Didymus, which means, go figure, the twin. While I'm not totally a glass half empty kind of guy, I usually do require evidence before I believe in something, just so I can see proof before jumping on the bandwagon, so to speak. I'm not a total stickler, though. Sometimes I'm really brave and spontaneous. Like the other day when Mary and Martha sent word to Jesus that their brother Lazarus was dead. Jesus wanted to go see him, but most of our friends were afraid to go to Bethany because Jesus was so unpopular there. They were all afraid to go, but Jesus was determined, and I backed him up and said, "Let's go with him. Even if it means we die with him." It drives me nuts that people don't remember times like that. They're always bringing up the times when I was a little more cautious and doubtful. They like to talk about the times when I asked a few extra questions rather than just going with the flow. and they totally ignored how faithful and truly courageous I've been. I may have been just a fisherman with them at one point, but I remember when Jesus shared the Beatitudes with us on the mountain during his first year of public ministry. I can literally see him chewing out the winds on stormy Galilee and healing the sick, curing the diseased, opening the eyes of the blind, making the deaf hear, cleansing the lepers, and preaching the gospel to the poor. It's just, there are so many people who are enemies of Jesus now, even determined to destroy him. He's trying to make us God's servants while they're trying to make God serve them. And now, even within our group, his 12 chosen apostles, there's a traitor. Seeing enemies all around us, I'm starting to doubt even myself now. Is it me? Am I the one?
Oh, soul, are you weary and troubled? No light in the darkness you see. There's a light for a look at the Savior, and life more abundant and free. Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strange and dim in the light of his glory and grace.
After Jesus called Peter and Andrew to follow him, he came to meet John and my brother James as we were in a nearby boat mending nets with our father Zebedee. As soon as he called us, we left everything we knew, right down to the boat and our dad, and followed him. It's been both the easiest and the hardest thing I've ever done. Seeing him perform miracles and preach, I believe he is God as much as anyone will ever be. Yet seeing him as a friend, sharing his struggles as well as his hours of victory, I love him as a person too. And he has loved me in return, calling me the beloved disciple at times. I was there on the Mount of Transfiguration, sharing his glory, and he put Peter and I in charge of the Passover celebration arrangements here tonight because he trusts us and considers us his closest friends. He even shared with me the story of his talk with Nicodemus when he spoke those wonderful words, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him will not die, but have everlasting life." Someday I want to write a book of his sayings and all the amazing things he's done so that everyone can read them and believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and share in everlasting life with him. Yet he just said that one of us was a betrayer. I almost can't believe it. I don't want to believe it. But it must be true, or he wouldn't have said it. Who could it be? Not my brother James or Peter or Andrew. Just as likely to be John, the beloved disciple. And that's not possible. Or is it? Could it be me? Am I the one?
Through death into life everlasting, he passed and we follow him there. O'er us and no more have dominion, for more than conquerors we are. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace.
Jesus called me. I was hanging out with the bad crowd, known as the Zealots. Basically, we're a bunch of angry, trigger-happy revolutionaries, all armed and ready for rebellion against Rome. We were all about crushing our enemies and bringing back the paradise that we thought Israel used to be when David and Solomon were in charge. You can imagine my surprise when Jesus told us about another kind of paradise, a kingdom within the human heart where only God is in control. I was totally blown away. I dropped the zealots like the bad habits they were and pledged my allegiance to Jesus instead. He showed me that the battle for the heart is only true and lasting conquest. And in turn, I've given him all my loyalty and devotion. Militarily speaking, I guess you could say I've surrendered myself to him unconditionally and completely. I've raised the white flag, vowing to think like he thinks, to love as he loves, to obey as he obeys, to serve as he serves, and even to love those he loves. Some from my old gang think this means I've given up my freedom and free will. But for the first time in my life, I actually feel free. I'm not afraid of Rome anymore. Power and gold may be mighty, but God is truly almighty. But even now within our group, the master says they're a traitor, a deserter, a spiritual Roman among us, one who will try to take by force what can only be won with love. Who can it be? Matthew, the tax collector and former servant of Rome? Or does everyone suspect me since I'm the only one with a history of violence? Is it me? Am I the one?
Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace.
And this is my story of how I came to be with Jesus. My brother Andrew and I were fishing on the Sea of Galilee one afternoon, just casting our nets into the sea, when Jesus walked by and said, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." So we did. Then one morning, after a long night of working with nothing to show for it, he said to me, "Son, take the boat further out and throw your nets out for a catch." I was pretty skeptical, exhausted and a little cranky at that point. But I told him, Master, we have been working all night and have caught nothing. But if you tell me to, I will let down the nets. As we did as he said, we had fish swimming like crazy into our nets. We actually caught so many fish, we had to call other boats nearby to come help us bring them all back to shore. Point in myself for distrusting him. As soon as we reached the shore, I fell on my knees at his feet and apologized, saying, Leave me, O Lord, for I am a sinner. He just smiled and said again that he would make us fishers of men. It was then that he changed my name from Simon to Peter, which means the rock. When I finally surrendered completely and announced that he was Christ, the Son of the living God, in Caesarea Philippi, he said to me and the others, On this rock I will build my church. I was afraid to give that up. So when he mentioned a few minutes later that he would be going to Jerusalem to die at the hands of angry men, I argued with him. I'll never forget his next words. Get behind me, Satan. It seems like I'm a mixture of good and evil, of right and wrong. Tonight, when he said that one of us would betray him, I immediately swore that it wouldn't be me, that I would follow him even to death. He just shook his head at me and looked at me sadly, saying that before the sun came up, I would have denied him 3 times. Oh, the others call me the big fisherman, but with Jesus, I feel so small and unworthy. Will I really deny him tonight before the sun rises? If I do, what will he do? Will he kick me out of the group? He doesn't know me? Refuse to let me in his kingdom? Is this what he meant when he said one of us would betray him? If I knew who it was going to be, I'd pierce his heart with this knife right here, right now. But what if that would mean piercing my own heart? God, please don't let it be me. It hurts me to wonder, am I the one?
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that he should give his only Son and make a wretch his treasure. How great the pain of searing loss, the Father turns his face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon his cross, my sin upon his shoulders. Ashamed I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers. It was my sin that held him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom.
Have a good rest of your evening.